Helen Keller. Optimism is a muscle you build through training. I am Helen Keller. You know my story. Deaf, blind, silent, dark. From 19 months old, I lived in a world without sight or sound. People think I was born optimistic. They say, she was so positive despite her disabilities. They are wrong. I was not born optimistic. I built optimism. Every single day. Through deliberate practice. Through conscious training. Let me tell you the truth. Optimism is not a personality trait. It is a muscle. And like any muscle, you must train it. Waiting for happiness will leave you waiting forever. I learned this in my darkness. When you cannot see, you cannot wait for light to find you. You must create it. When you cannot hear, you cannot wait for encouragement to reach you. You must speak it to yourself. I could have waited for my sight to return. It never did. Waited for my hearing to come back. It never did. Waited for my life to get easier. It never did. If I had waited for happiness to arrive, I would still be waiting. In darkness, in silence, in despair, but I did not wait. I built. Every day, I trained my optimism muscle. Let me show you how. First, I chose my thoughts. In my early years, before Anne Sullivan, I was angry, furious, bitter, hopeless. Why me? Why this darkness? Why this silence? These thoughts came naturally, but they destroyed me. They made my darkness darker. They made my silence louder. I had to change them. Not once. Every single day. Every morning, the same dark thoughts tried to return. You are trapped. You are limited. You are less. I had to fight them. How? By deliberately choosing different thoughts. I am learning. I am growing. I am capable. Was this easy? No. Was this natural? No. It was training, repetition, practice, discipline. Every day, I chose optimism over despair. Not because I felt optimistic. Because I trained optimism. This is what people do not understand. You do not feel optimistic first. You practice optimism first. Then the feeling follows. Second, I focused on what I had, not what I lacked. I could not see, but I could touch. I could not hear, but I could feel vibrations. I could not speak easily, but I could communicate through my hands. Every day, I practiced gratitude. Not for what I wished I had. For what I actually had. My hands that could read Braille. My mind that could learn. My teacher who believed in me. This was not natural. Natural is to focus on lack. I cannot see the sunset. I cannot hear music. I cannot experience what others do. But I trained myself differently. Every day, I listed what I had. 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. This became automatic. Not because I was naturally grateful. Because I trained gratitude. Gratitude is a muscle. Third, I created small victories. In my darkness, I could not wait for big achievements. I had to create tiny wins. Every day, learning 1 new word in Braille. Victory. Communicating 1 clear thought. Victory. Understanding 1 new concept. Victory. These seem small, but they built my optimism muscle. Each small victory proved something to me. I am not helpless. I can progress. I can grow. Without these daily victories, I would have believed the darkness. That I was stuck. That I could not change. That there was no hope. But each small win fought that lie. You must do the same. Do not wait for big moments to feel optimistic. Create small victories every day. Did you get out of bed despite depression? Victory. Did you try something despite fear? Victory. Did you choose 1 good thought despite negativity? Victory. These train optimism. Fourth, I practiced possibility thinking. In my world, everything seemed impossible. Read? Impossible for a blind person. Write? Impossible for a deaf person. Graduate college? Absolutely impossible. But I practiced asking different questions. Not, can I? But, how can I? Not, is this possible? But, what would make this possible? This was training. Every day, when faced with impossibility, I practiced reframing. I cannot see to read. Reframe. How can I read without seeing? Answer Braille. I cannot hear to learn language. Reframe. How can I learn without hearing? Answer touch and vibration. I cannot do what others do. Reframe. What can I do that others cannot? Answer understand darkness that they never will. This thinking did not come naturally. I trained it daily. Every obstacle became a training opportunity. Fifth, I surrounded myself with optimism trainers. Anne Sullivan was my teacher. But more than that, she was my optimism coach. When I fell into despair, she pulled me up. When I believed I could not, she showed me I could. When darkness overwhelmed me, she reminded me of light. I could not train optimism alone. None of us can. You need optimism trainers. People who believe in you when you cannot believe in yourself. Remind you of your progress when you see only failure. Challenge your negative thoughts with truth. Find these people. Not people who simply say, be positive. But people who practice optimism themselves. Who train their own optimism muscle. Who understand it is work, not magic. Surround yourself with them. Their optimism will train yours. Sixth, I accepted that optimism requires daily practice. This is the secret most people miss. They think optimistic people wake up happy. They do not. I did not wake up happy. I woke up in darkness. In silence. With limitations. Every single day. But every single day, I trained. Chose my thoughts. Focused on what I had. Created small victories. Practiced possibility thinking. Leaned on my optimism trainers. Some days were harder than others. Some days, the darkness felt heavier. Some days, the silence felt louder. But I still trained. Because optimism is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. Like exercise. You do not go to the gym once and stay fit forever. You train regularly. Optimism is the same. You cannot choose optimism once and stay optimistic forever. You train daily. This is what changed my life. Not one moment of optimism. But decades of daily training. Now, you are waiting for happiness. Stop. Happiness will not arrive. Optimism will not appear. You must build them. Train them. Starting today. How? First, choose one thought today. Just one. Replace one negative thought with a trained optimistic one. I cannot do this. Replace, I am learning to do this. Nothing ever works out. Replace, I have overcome challenges before. One thought. Today. Second, list 3 things you have. Not what you lack. What you have. Health? Shelter? One person who cares? 3 things. Today. Third, create one small victory. One thing that proves you are not helpless. Make your bed. Take a walk. Send one message. One victory. Today. Fourth, practice one possibility question. How can I? Instead of, can I? One reframe. Today. Fifth, connect with one optimism trainer. One person who lifts you up. Call them. Message them. Remember their words. One connection. Today. Do this today. Tomorrow, do it again. The next day, again. This is training. Not one dramatic transformation. Daily practice. I lived 87 years. 66 of those years in darkness and silence. But I was not miserable for 66 years. I was optimistic. Not because I was born that way. Because I trained that way. Every single day. You can do the same. Your circumstances may be difficult. Your challenges may be real. But optimism is not dependent on circumstances. It is dependent on training. Start today. Train your optimism muscle. One thought. 3 gratitudes. One victory. One possibility. One connection. Every day. In 1 month, your optimism muscle will be stronger. In 1 year, it will be powerful. In 1 lifetime, it will be unshakable. Stop waiting for happiness to find you. Build it. Train it. Daily. This is how I lived. This is how you can live too. Timeless secret wisdom. Helen Keller.